Hi, I'm Lionel Lion from Between the Lions, and you're watching a podcast where nostalgia comes to life. It's Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show, so keep being wild about reading and enjoy the show. Roll it!
Welcome to Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show, the podcast where nostalgia comes alive. Since July of 2021, Jake and his friends have interviewed professionals in the worlds of acting, directing, writing, puppeteering, and many more. Who will they be chatting with in this week's interview? Find out in this Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show episode.
Hey everyone, welcome to this episode of Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show, where nostalgia comes alive. Happy to be here with us. Thank you for joining. As always, I'm your host, Jake Deffinbaugh. With you as always, co-host Chris Bixby and Matt Bingel. How you guys doing?
Doing good.
Good. What's up, everybody? How you doing?
Yes. How are you doing, Jake?
I'm doing great, Chris. Thank you for asking.
Wonderful. Who do we have today?
Well, today's guest we have for today, he's an actor and puppeteer. Some of you may know him from the puppetry projects that he's been working on over the years, such as Wubbulous World of Dr. Seuss, including performing in The Grinch, Terrence McBird, and lots of many others, and Allegra's Rondo for performing Rondo, Poco and Tweeter, and of course, as always, Between the Lines for being original performer for Lionel Lion. Please welcome Mr. Anthony Asbury. Happy to have you here, Anthony. How are you?
I'm very well. Thanks for having me.
Yes, absolutely.
Delighted to have you
Pleasure.
here.
Yes, and before we're getting this off, we want like a quick thank you to a great friend of ours who's a previous guest, Norman Stiles, for helping us to connect. So thank you, Norman, and hello
Thanks,
to
Norman.
you if you listen, if you're watching this, which I know you will, Norman.
Which we're sure you are. Thank you, Norman.
And also Anthony. Chris Surf says hello.
Yes, and same.
Yes,
and same goes with Peter and Pam.
Lovely people. Love them a lot.
Very lovely people.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes,
indeed. So to kick things off, so for those who don't know you, could you tell our audience a bit about yourself and what you do?
I started as a puppeteer and actor. This about 45 years ago, something like that. Long time ago. And Julie Taymor from The Lion King, she gave me my first break. I snuck into an audition at the New York Shakespeare Festival and lied my way top to bottom all the way through that, just told lies and got in. And they hired me right away, and she liked me so much she asked me to stick around the rest of the day and help me audition the rest of the people she was seeing. So there you go. I did a couple of years with the Haggadah at the Shakespeare Festival with Julie and Liz Suedos, God rest her soul, and that was a lot of fun meeting those people and working with those people. And I'd already known Martin Robinson. Have you had a word with Martin?
Oh yes, great friend of ours.
Yeah,
Wonderful friend of ours. Yes, we have.
Absolutely.
Well-known bank robber. I think he's still doing time.
Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and he's still doing wonderful on Sesame Street. With Telly and Snuffy, Slimy, all those characters.
Yep.
He's such a magnificent human being. I love that guy. He we worked together on we worked a little before that, and then we worked together at the Shakespeare Festival. And then I called him one year and I said, I didn't see you in the lineup. I said, are you not coming back this year? And he goes, no, I'm working on a little project. And that turned out to be Little Shop of Horrors. And he then asked me to join that show when I was still in its infancy. And I moved to open the show to join the show in Manhattan, New York City, and then was invited to go to the UK and open that production. And I did that for about 3 or 4 months, as long as the contract was, I don't know. And instead of coming back to New York, and I stayed there and joined a TV series, which turned out to be the most expensive light entertainment show ever made in the UK. It was called Spitting Image. We got, I think it was the best video music of the year for MTV one year for Land of Confusion.
Oh, nice.
With Phil Collins, which that was complete and utter, just absolute fun. And I remember that the night before we were going to shoot it all, we had the whole storyboards and everything. And the producer goes, "Oh my gosh, what if we got this completely wrong?" And I said, "Well," and we were having a few drinks. It was late one night. And I said, "Well, call Phil and ask him." So he calls up Phil Collins at about 10 o'clock one night and says, "Phil, what does this song mean to you?" And I just realized I probably can't say his response on the podcast, but it was basically do whatever you want in a Phil Collins kind of way. And we both laughed about that and carried on, and we just started shooting the next day. But that was a tremendous success. Ran for about 16 years. And when I wasn't shooting that show, I was doing movies. So I would do. I did Labyrinth.
Oh yes,
that was a big hit.
Wonderful movie.
That was a big hit. That was so much fun, and it was just a great experience working with Jim. God rest his soul. What a lovely, lovely human being. So generous.
I was actually just going to ask that. Like, what was it like? You know, just getting to know Jim Henson himself and getting to work with him.
He would trust you. Once he hired you, he would trust you to do your thing, and he'd come in with like a little note or two, like come in a little sooner or turn this way when you say this line or something like that. But otherwise, he was just just an amazing guy to work with, and he had extraordinary vision. It was amazing that he'd dream all these things up and know how to execute and how to cut and put it together. It was an extraordinary thing. And the amazing thing is when people see that poster, they go, oh my gosh, dude, were you in that? Was that? And I'll point to my name, excuse me, on the poster. And it's always women that tell me this. It's like, oh my gosh, that's my favorite movie. And I've never had one woman not say that's my favorite movie. And then when the Witches came around, I remember Jim called up my manager and said, "So what did we pay Anthony on that last picture?" And Michael says, "Well, I don't know. Let me check it. Let me check it out." And he goes, never mind. Just double it and send him the script."
Oh wow!
And that was just the kind of guy he was. He was just amazing, very very trustful, very generous, lovely guy.
Absolutely.
And then when the Flintstones came around, they called and just said, "Look, we need you in LA. Just go out and join the company." And ended up doing all the creatures for the Flintstones. And it was heartbroken when I found out that I was revoiced by a famous old actor. But then when I confronted the producer about it, and he said, "Look, we gave Elizabeth Taylor $2 million for 1 week's work. We wanted an all-star cast." So it was like, okay. But I'm also very happy that they contacted John Cleese and asked him to do my voice for the Dictabird. And he says, "No, the voice, the guy doing it now is just great. Leave him alone." Thank you, John.
That's great. Yes.
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 Thank you for that. $2 million for a week's of work. Intriguing.
That's
Yeah.
it must be nice to be Liz Taylor.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So what was your background like, and how did you grow up?
I was always interested in puppetry. When I was about 5 years old, I learned to make hand puppets, and I would put on puppet shows for the neighborhood kids, and I'd charge everybody a nickel, for the show, which 5 cents was not a great deal of money, but I had a great little piggy bank going for a while, and then I thought, I should learn ventriloquism because I was a big fan of Sherry Lewis and Lamb Chop, and
Oh
I
yes.
think, God, I think back in the Stone Age there was Ed Sullivan, and she would appear on Ed Sullivan, and I thought I need to learn how to do this, so I taught myself ventriloquism and got myself a vent dummy, and the next thing you know, the newspapers are covering me doing shows at the local library, for the kids, and that's how my parents found out that I was destined for showbiz. And then I started entering, a talent show contest at school and winning those, and joining the drama groups, as I got a little older, and going up in ages, and started winning all the awards, and finally, tapped out at state champ, with the acting in high school, and then I auditioned and went to the American Academy in New York, and studied for a bit there. And after a year, I went, yeah, and I snuck off and auditioned, and I got a non-equity touring company. And the girl who was the lead female in the show, when we finished, she called me up and goes, "Hey, they're having this audition over at the Shakespeare Festival. You should go." And I said, "No, it's union only." And she goes, "Lie." And the rest is history.
Oh, that's great.
It's great. So you had just mentioned the New York Shakespeare Festival. What was it like working at this incredible festival?
It was I was very young. I think I was 20, maybe 20 years old, maybe 21. And to be in such an esteemed crowd, in such a great cast and crew, and this Slados, for goodness sake, I was so lucky, just so lucky to be a part of that. When I don't think I was an adult yet. You know what I mean? And oh my gosh, I remember one of the girls. I can't think of which one it was. On the cast of on the set of Little Shop of Horrors. Tashina Arnold. They were the three girls were coming toward me, and they stopped and they said, "Hi, we're with the," and I go, "Oh, hi, how are you? I'm Anthony." And one of the girls leaned in really close. And she goes, "Oh, I know you, And I went, "What?" Because she was grown up now, and she goes, "I'm Tashina Arnold," and I went, "The little girl from the Shakespeare Company." And she remembered me, and I thought, my gosh, how crazy is that? And she was all grown up and still doing show business. And I think she still is to this day.
Awesome.
So it's amazing.
Great.
Absolutely. So you also mentioned performing in the original off-Broadway production of Little Shop of Horrors. What are some of your fondest memories of that?
Not dying. I mean, you're in a 100-pound suit that you got to throw around like you're juggling barbells, and to do that, every night was just crazy. It was a lot of fun, and yeah, it was just a lot of fun. It was just quite a thing to do that. Thankfully I was quite young, and I had the strength to do that. But yeah, that was good fun.
Definitely. Absolutely.
Can't imagine being tossing 100-pound suit every night though. No thanks.
Ellen Green, God bless her. She's unparalleled, Ellen Green, and and just before the curtain would go up on Act 2, she would sit at the all the way downstage center, and she would focus on the scene coming up. And it was a very traumatic retelling of her past, and she would have to work up some kind of sense memory in her brain so she could plow through that. And I guess when she was ready to start the scene, she would stand up, and Act 2 would start with a very happy, bubbly scene, and then it would go into the tragic retelling. And I don't know how she would do it. I really don't. And one night we were I don't know how it started, but she started a game of tag, and she would bump into me, and she'd and that meant you're it. And I'd lean into her and I'd go, you're it. And this would go on and on all through Act 2. And finally, when it's time to feed her into the plant, I'd bite down on her, and every time I would chomp down, I would go, you're it. And I would chomp and I go, you're it, you're it, you're it, you're it, you're it. And by the time Seymour pulls her out, she's got tears streaming down her face. She's just laughing so hard. And she's got to pull it together and then do the dying bit, that was one of my fonder memories of killing Ellen on stage. What an amazing talent. Just so much fun.
Absolutely.
What a gift.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely. So speaking of Little Shop of Horrors, you also got to perform in the film version directed by Frank Oz. What was it like doing the film version compared to the off-Broadway production?
It was like slowly choking to death working with Frank Oz. Oh God!
Oh.
He once got in a fight with his best friend, Dave Goles. They were doing some big bird picture, and he would make Dave do a line over and over, and it made him do like 80 takes or something like that, and he would say the line again, but he would just say it any way he wanted, and just that it ended up they didn't talk for years, and I found out that Wrath, it was the scene where Ellen, the hey little lady hello, bit, and she crosses over and comes into the shop, and it was a really, really, really long scene, and Frank made us shoot that. I think it was 112 times.
Oh my gosh!
What?
And, yeah, and they ended up cutting together take 2 and take 3.
Out
Oh my
of
God.
all that?
After all that, and it was just sweet baby Jesus, Frank.
Oh man, yeah.
Out of all those takes, like 112, you only used takes 2 and 3. What's the point?
I think so. I think so. And the clapper loader took pity on us, because after take 100, she just wiped the slate clean and went back to take 1A.
1A.
That's great.
Oh
man,
that was a hoot.
Mhm.
That was a hoot.
Yeah,
But,
I can already tell.
but Rick Moranis was just terrific to work with. He's just a consummate professional, just a great guy. And Rosie and I just fought every day. She would make up songs about my shorts, and she was just a scream.
oh my
But,
gosh.
we were shooting a scene in the desert, and she was holding the dictabird, my lead character there. And I leaned over to the director and I said, she's got my character facing down. I said, would you ask her to, lift the chin up so I'm, and he looked over at me and he goes, and I said, did you just shake your head no? And he goes, oh. And I said, what do you want me to do? And he goes, you tell her.
Oh man.
Oh God.
Oh.
Uh,
I mean, the first day Rick walked onto the set, we were out in the desert there. And Rick looked around and locked eyes on me and shouted, "Anthony!" And then came over and gave me a big hug. And everybody was like, "What in the world is going on here?" And I was like, "We're old friends. It's okay."
Oh man.
Oh,
Yes.
what a nice guy.
Yes.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes, and Frank too. For what he's done over the years, puppeteer and directing and all this stuff. He's
Yeah.
He's an
He's-
extraordinary
he's
talent. He's a very, very talented
yes.
director. Has
Yeah.
great vision and
absolutely
knows how to get what he's looking for.
Definitely.
Can't mess with that.
Indeed. So now, what was it like to perform in a Broadway revival?
That was it was different. It was very different. It was very different.
Definitely. So
Yeah.
There you go.
well, it's revival, so it's
yeah, of course
it-
it's going to be
it'd
different.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Revival.
Yeah. Mhm.
So you also mentioned getting to perform in Labyrinth. What was that movie like?
That was a lot of fun. They would they'd call you in and there'd be a long table, a couple of tables all laid out together, and all the characters they were going to use for that scene. And they'd call me in. They go, "You get first pick." And oh, cool. So I walk up and down the table and I go, "Oh, this looks good." And the girl behind the table, she'd look at me and she'd go, I go, "Why are you shaking? Why are you shaking your head? No. What does that mean?" And she go, and I go, "Oh, I like this character." And they go, "Good choice." And she was just basically steering me toward, a much more interesting character for that scene that she was much more privy to than my eyes were. And that was so much fun. When I was a kid, I grew up with a poster of David Bowie
Oh yes.
over my bed, and I think it was The Man Who Fell to Earth, Nick Rogue picture, and I just thought of a funny story about Nick Rogue. And I remember Jim. He goes, "Anthony, take the spot nearest the throne on his right hand side." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, okay, great, thank you." So even before the camera's rolling, David and I are just playing silly buggers and doing silly comedy physical shtick. And at the end of the day, we've had a great day together. And at the end of the day, I'm walking toward the pub that's on the studio lot. And I figured I'd have a quick beer before I go home. And all of a sudden, I realized he's walking, a fair bit behind me. And I thought, okay, just be cool. Don't, And I hear him say, "Oi." And I think, oh, he can't be talking to me. And he goes, "Oi, you deaf." I stopped, turned around. He goes, where's the bar?" And I said, I'm going there now." And he goes, "Well, wait up." Okay. And then he goes, "I'll get the first round." I thought, okay, David's buying me beer. Okay, this is a good day. Oh God. But I remember Nicholas Rogue, he was the director on The Witches. And we were sitting out under a tree one afternoon. We were having lunch and they were just, taking a little break there. And his wife, who's devastatingly beautiful, she comes up and sits down, and I immediately say, I'll get another wine glass." So I go and get another wine glass, and I don't know what for. And I come back and I offer it to her, and he goes, "Anthony, this is my wife. I think it was Teresa." And I didn't even think. The first thing out of my mouth, I turned and I go, "She married you?" Oh God.
Oh man. Yeah, so
Uh,
you also puppeteered in the Henson film adaptation of The Witches. Can you kind of talk a bit about that?
That was great fun. We Steve Whitmire. Steve Whitmire and I did the Witches together.
Oh,
Oh
That
yeah, I
was
love Steve. Yeah.
he's so wonderful.
Steve's a great guy. We did that together, and it was really, really crazy. You'd have whole set pieces blown up so that they would fit in the scene with because the mice were this big, but the the actual mice that we used to puppeteer were hand puppet size. So if I was in front of, say, a death mask over Angelica Houston's bed, which would be about the size of my palm, to work with it on our set, it would have to be 3 feet tall. And I remember saying, that's such a magnificent, because when you're getting near the end of the picture and people are thinking, I'm going to write my name on this prop and maybe I'll get to take this prop home. And, they were choosing stupid things like a 5-foot banana. But I'd fallen in love with this death mask that was over Angelica Houston's bed, and I'd made it clear that I really wanted that. And the continuity director overheard me, and she leaned forward and she goes, no, that's mine. I'm taking that. And I thought, oh, okay. And the set director looked over at me and went, no. A few weeks later, my doorbell rang and they brought it in. They go, we're told we need to hang this up for you. I've cherished it as a prized possession since. I still have it to this day. It's just beautiful.
Oh wow.
Wow, nice.
Uh,
That's awesome.
Definitely.
Wonderful.
So, aside from puppeteering on various films, you mentioned puppeteering in a spitting image. Can you kind of talk a bit about that?
Yeah, we had, they were foam injection. They were sculpted in clay first, and it'd be a life-size bust of, let's say, Margaret Thatcher. It was a life-size bust sculpted in clay. And the milkman, they would ask the milkman to identify all the sculptures. And if he couldn't identify, he was a very, very clever milkman. And if the milkman couldn't identify the sculpture, they would trash it and start over again. And if he could identify it, then they would cast it in foam. They did heated foam injection. And then they build the eyes, the movable eyes, and the eyelids and whatever, and then dress it in a wig and costume. And a lot of them weighed about 25, 30 pounds. And,
Wow.
Hoisting 30 pounds above your head and making the mouth move and the eyes blink and turning the camera and looking away and making it look effortless was how you spent, 10 hours a day, earning your living. And sometimes they'd come out with a really just impossible, huge, heavy thing. And they'd always give it to me.
Oh man.
Gosh. Yeah. But that was a great deal of fun. And like I said, it ran for a very long time. And they've always tried to bring it back, to repeat it.
Mm.
And I think they tried not long ago. And I don't know. We'd have to check into that.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes.
When something costs that much money,
Right.
Of
Yeah.
course, yeah.
and
Yeah.
and at the time they only had 4 TV channels in Europe,
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
and so there wasn't satellite, there wasn't Netflix, there wasn't HBO, anything like that. There was just, there was HBO, I think. I don't know if they had it in Europe though. But yeah, you only had 4 channels, so and it came on Sunday night at 10:30, I think.
Hmm.
And so there wasn't a whole lot to watch. So that means we had a lot of viewers. I mean, a lot of viewers. And that paid off, the advertising. So I guess that's how it covered it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean,
Awesome.
long gone are the days when Happy Days got 60 million viewers.
Oh,
We're not
yeah.
gonna get 60 million viewers
Wow.
unless,
Oh, yeah.
unless Trump is assassinated on live TV. That's probably going to get a few viewers, but
Right.
Oh my.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what gets 60 million viewers these days.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe unless if it's the Super Bowl, but even that's hard to do.
I don't think that gets 60 million. Does it?
Really?
It
I
might.
think it does.
I don't know.
Probably only for the
don't know.
commercials. Probably only for the commercials these days. But what am I to say?
Right.
Yeah.
There's so many
That's what I feel.
so many different ways you can view something, on
Yeah.
YouTube or streaming or something. It's like I don't know how they collect all that data.
I don't either.
I don't know.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
But there's a lot of shows. I did TV shows in the UK that I can hardly remember. I did the Winjin Palm, WINJIN Palm, POM. It's an abbreviation for Prisoner of Her Majesty. But that was a really, really weird show. Weird, way out there. And Harry's Mad, that ran for years. I played a talking parrot. It was a Dick King Smith novel. I ran for many, many years. That was fun.
Nice.
And then I personally appeared on Absolutely Fabulous, which was an absolute scream. Oh gosh. What else? Yeah, a lot of TV shows I don't even remember doing, and a lot of commercials. There was a time when I was shooting a commercial every week. We did. I Can't Believe It's Not Butter. Did a campaign for I Can't Believe It's Not Butter,
Oh, wow.
and the commercials were so good and so funny that they sold out. They sold out of the entire I Can't Believe It's Not Butter product.
Oh my gosh.
So they stopped making commercials. Why run commercials and pay for commercials if you're out of product?
Right.
So
It
that
makes
was
sense.
our
Yeah.
most successful campaign ever. Yeah, I don't even know if those still exist anywhere. I'm sure they do. Everything does,
Yeah, I'm sure somewhere. Yeah.
Somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But, so it's been a very, very long and colorful career.
Yes.
Mhm.
Absolutely. So another show you puppeteered on was the Nick Jr. series, Allegra's Window, as Rondo, Poco, and
Oh, yeah.
Tweeter. What was it like getting to work on that?
That was very sweet. That was a very, very sweet program. Marty built all the characters for that, and him and yeah, Marty built all those, and we shot that down in Orlando.
Yes, at the
And, I
Nickelodeon
don't think anybody ever made
Studios.
a dime on it, but it was very sweet. And
Yeah,
it was fun to get together and just have fun.
absolutely. Yeah, a lot of other wonderful puppeteers on that. Like, of course, Catherine Mullen, Pam
Yes.
Arciero was there,
Pam.
who we mentioned. Yeah,
Yeah.
Marty, of
Yes.
course, Tim Lagasse,
Mm-hmm.
Heather Ash,
Yes.
a lot of wonderful people.
Heather Ash, yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, Allegra's Window was very clever, and no one had ever done lateral thinking before. No one had ever tried to assimilate that into a TV show for kids, and it may well have been ahead of its time. But yeah, it was very interesting. It was very interesting, and I love the way they like everybody's name had a musical connotation. Even and all the music was very music oriented. It was really interesting. So yeah, that was a deep show, you know. But,
Absolutely wonderful show,
really
though.
good. Yeah, a
Absolutely,
lot of fond memories.
definitely.
A lot of fond memories down there. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, such a wonderful show. It really is.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So you also got to puppeteer a number of characters on the Wubbulous World of Dr. Seuss, including the Grinch, Terrence McBird, Yertle the Turtle, and many, many others. Could you share any stories from working on that show?
It was just that was just such great fun. Such great fun. Um that it was new for everyone because it was all there was no set. There wasn't
Right, it was just like green
I know that
screen
doesn't
or
make
blue
any sense,
screen.
but you'd go into work and there'd be a chroma key screen, and that was
Yeah.
it. And if you needed to add props, they would bring in a green block and set it downstage and put something on it, and that would represent something else. And it was just a whole new and exciting way of working that that no one had ever done before. It was thrilling and exciting, and a slight learning curve, but really fun, and
Absolutely.
so ahead of its time.
Oh yeah.
So ahead of its time. My gosh, the things that they were coming up with, and if they needed to send codes to England, it was like, no, we can't send this over. We can't send this over the air. What do you mean? They go, well, it's priority. Someone could intercept this. And you don't even think about that, but it was, you'd have to have a dedicated digital server line just to transmit something that far.
Hmm.
It was crazy. But I'm sure, now that's all. It's really simple and everything's, but at the time they were writing their own rule book and and doing it themselves. It was crazy. And great cast
Oh
on
yeah.
that.
Oh yes.
Oh yes.
Just terrific.
Yes, absolutely.
Definitely.
Michael and Kathy were just terrific. Michael Frith and Kathy Mullen,
Oh
just
yeah.
brilliance, just absolute brilliance.
Definitely.
They even did an episode called Dreaming Shakespeare, and I thought, we're teaching kids Shakespeare. This is brilliant. And I remember thinking, it doesn't matter if they get it. It's not the point. The point is you got in and you planted a seed, and you left it there to ruminate,
Right.
so that as the kids would grow, they'd go Shakespeare. I remember a chicken doing Shakespeare on Between the Lions. Like,
That's right.
what? You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it was just crazy. I think I did Romeo and Juliet with a chicken. I was, stand up like me doing Romeo, and Juliet was a chicken or something like that. It was it was just so completely out there, And, I guess it was so expensive.
Hmm.
It was so expensive. It really was. It was I mean, the set was just sumptuous. It was we shot that in Manhattan, and had a huge set, and an actual library, and we had these huge crates filled with books. And I said, well, how did you actually come by these actual hardback books? And they said, oh, we just called the library, and they would donate any old books, something like that. And they had thousands of them just for the shelves.
Wow.
So, when you're doing a TV show, you just sit around and wait to be called. It's like, I don't know if we're going to shoot with you today, but you got to be here. So read a book. and you realize you've read 3 novels a week, because you're living in a library of
Yeah.
wine.
Essentially,
Why not?
yeah.
Exactly. What are you gonna do? Well, I can read.
Yeah.
And that was great.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. We actually previously chatted some of the people who worked on that show. For example, Bruce Lenoyle, who
Bruce
performed
Lenoyle, yeah,
for the
great
first
guy.
Yeah.
season. He's
John
so-
Kennedy,
yeah.
we've talked to him
Yep.
as well.
Yes, they're
Funny
wonderful.
guys.
Yes.
Yes, they are.
Yes.
Where's Kennedy at?
Yes.
Where's Kennedy at these days? Is he in Vegas or Atlanta? Where's Kennedy at?
I think he's in New York. I
Mhm.
think he's still doing stuff for Sesame Street.
Mm-hmm,
I
yeah.
think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Good.
Wonderful
Good.
guy. Yeah.
Great guys. Very talented.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Indeed, they are. So I'm kind of curious. Do you have any favorite episodes or songs from the Wubbulous World of Dr. Seuss? If you remember any of them, of course.
I do not. No. I remember the theme song.
Oh,
Very,
yes.
very catchy and very quick. And I think Cohen wrote that. It was a good song. I don't recall it. I could not sing it for $1 million right now. Into
That's
a
okay.
bubble, roll into a hubble. I don't know. It's about it.
No worries. It's kind
No worries.
of a while ago. So
Yeah, right. It was a long time
Yeah.
ago now.
Long
It
time
was.
ago.
It was.
Yeah.
It was almost 30 years ago. My gosh.
Eesh.
Yeah, wow. So your longest running puppeteering role was on, of course, the PBS series Between the Lions as the original performer of Lionel. How did you begin working on that show?
I think Kathy just called. When you get to a certain age and a certain lineage, people just call you. You don't have to audition anymore. People just call you and they go, "Hey, you want to do this show?"
Right,
And,
especially because you worked, obviously, prior to Between the Lions, you worked closely with Catherine Mullen on a number of other projects too. So
Mhm.
Yeah. So I think that's how that came about. It's people just call you and they go, "Hey, you want to? We need you on here." Or so that's how it works after a while.
yeah.
I think I don't remember the last audition I went to really. I remember Shelley Winters having to audition for Roseanne, and she was really, really upset that they wanted her to audition. So she walked into the producers meeting and she had a big bag next to her chair, and the one of the producers goes, would you like to read page 1 of the script? And she nods her head, reaches down into the bag, and she pulls out an Academy Award, and she sets it on the table next to her, and she goes, "Oh, yeah, okay, that's fine, that's fine. If you could just read page 1." And she'd nod her head and she'd reach down, pulls out another Academy Award, sets it right next to that one.
Oh man.
I think that's a no. We're not going to read anything for you.
Yeah. That's a clear no right there.
Yes. I know that during the creation of Between the Lions, I know that originally the cast of the show, the Lions, was originally going to be like Allegra's Window type of family.
Like
Yes,
yeah,
that's right.
because I remember when we spoke to Jen Barnhart, she mentioned how the cast was originally going to be similar to the Allegra's Window cast, where you and Kathy would play the kids, and Marty and Pam were supposed to play Theo and Cleo.
Mm-hmm.
But then because of their
Yes.
busy schedules on Sesame, they couldn't
Right.
commit to
And then
that at the time.
and then Jen, auditioned. And originally she was going to be as a ensemble
An
type of
ensemble
Mhm,
puppeteer, yeah.
puppeteer, yeah. But then
yeah.
workshops and everything, they just I think Jen and Peter would be great for them. So and
Yeah.
that's history.
Yeah.
It's things change, and life goes on, and just roll with it.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it was quite a lot of fun, being a puppeteer for as long as I was, and now I think the most fun I ever had, definitely most fun I ever had, was on stage with Stuffed and Unstrung. That was
yes.
that was a Broadway show. It was Broadway because of the size of the house, but the theater was off Broadway, and they had like a rack of 100 Muppets on stage left, and on stage right you'd have like 4 or 5 directors' chairs for the performers for us to sit in. And then we had a compere, and he would take the center stage, the microphone. He'd say, "Okay, great. Give us." It was a live improv show, and he'd go, "Right, let's have Anthony and Michael and Debbie to the stage, and we'd cross over. And we'd choose any character we wanted off the rack there, and then he'd turn to the audience and he'd say, "Okay, give us some kind of genre," and the whole audience would shout out. And he'd go, "A Western. Okay, we have a Western. Okay, give us a subject." And the whole audience would shout and shout. And he'd go, "Okay, we have a potato, right? Okay, guys, we have a Western and a potato." And he'd go, "Action." And we would start. And without even thinking about it, you would start. And that was the most fun I had ever had with my clothes on. That was just a tremendous blast of electricity and just excitement. You can't imagine. It was just so much fun, and you'd go on and on until they shouted cut. And usually by then, everybody would be in stitches, and we'd accomplished our goal. And that was the most fun I'd ever had. There's no script. You just whatever came out of your mouth,
Right.
That was the most fun I ever had. I
That's
remember
nice.
I'd taken my wife to Vegas a few years back, and I was looking through things to do in Vegas by the pool, looking at some magazine, and sure enough, Stuffed and Unstrung was in Vegas, and that was the last thing on my bucket list, the last thing that I wanted to do that I hadn't yet. And that was to play Vegas. And I completely freaked out. And I found my phone and I called up Tyler Bunch, who did the show with me in Manhattan. And I said, "Tyler, I will do anything to get on this show. I'm in Vegas right now. I'm at the so-and-so hotel." I said, "Is there any chance you could put me in the show?" And he said, we definitely would. Absolutely. We closed 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
And I'm heartbroken. I was this close. And it was like, "Absolutely, we'll take you. Yes, please come. And they closed 2 weeks ago. And oh gosh, that would have been so much fun.
Oh man.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yes, Tyler, he's absolutely wonderful. So amazingly talented guy, like
Brilliant.
He's
actor,
insanely
not
talented.
just puppeteer, but actor, and screen,
Yeah.
voiceover,
Yeah.
just
He's,
everything.
he really does. Really does. Such a talent.
Yeah.
And so nice to work with. Really, just a sweet guy. Really.
Definitely.
Yes.
Mhm. So, Between the Lions was co-created by former Sesame writers Christopher Surf and Norman Stiles, who are also previous guests on our show. What was it like getting to work with these two?
A blessing. It was a gift. It was a gift. They know. They know. They just know. They've been doing it so long, they know. Norman will come in, at the last second with the line. He goes, "Try this," and boom, it fits. And they're very funny. They're just very, very funny. And you put the two of them together, it's just terrific. The things they've done, the volume of their work together, it really speaks for itself. Just amazing stuff.
Absolutely. So
Mhm.
now with Between the Lions, even though again this was quite a while ago now, do you remember any episodes you did that kind of stick out as some of your favorites?
No.
Or any
I
like
can't,
songs or
think of anything.
anything?
No. No.
One of my
It was just, just another day of work. Nothing stood out like, oh gosh, that's going to be huge. It's going to be a crossover hit. No, that never happened. You just, it was just, another day of work.
Right. Right. And I think one of my favorite songs that was like very early on in the show is, I don't know if you remember the song The Mighty Star Lion.
Yes, that was really good.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's got storm.
I remember
flight.
Jen.
I think I remember that.
Yeah,
That
I
was a
remember
really
Jen
nice
talking
tune.
about that was like one of the first songs that you guys did as an ensemble.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a really good song.
Yes.
That was really nice. Yeah.
Yes. I think you might remember this song too. Lionel's Rocket Ship.
Yes. I think I remember that. I don't, but I remember.
I'm Captain Lionel. Yeah.
Yes, I was.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh goodness,
Oh,
what
that's
was?
great.
I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember what episode. There's an episode I watched earlier before we started recording. It was from season 2. Oh goodness, I remember the name of it. Bobby the Hopping Robot. That's what it was. Yes. Goodness, I'm trying to remember how it goes again. It was from season 2, and Lionel had gotten this toy robot, but it wouldn't work.
Yes.
Even though he tried, I think like 6 times to get it to work, and then it, tried to get it to work, and it just
yes.
Until
was that an
did.
episode about
Spoiler
reading
alert if you haven't watched it.
instructions? I don't know what that was. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Baloney Boy. I
Yep.
remember Baloney Boy from Allegra's window.
Oh yes.
Baloney Boy. And I thought that was so ridiculously funny. I don't know why I remember that. Baloney Boy. I think it was a toy of Rondo's.
But yes, the hopping robot is about reading instructions. Yes, it is.
Well, there we go. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. The big bad duck.
Yeah, the big bad duck.
Oh,
Yeah, that
big
was
bad
another
duck.
early one.
Oh my god, yes.
The big bad duck.
Big bad duck.
So many. And so another
great ones.
question
I
again.
remember
It's
Artie Smarty Pants being so weird.
yes.
I was like,
And again,
what
talk
the
about
heck are you
Tim
guys
Lagasse.
thinking?
He did
Lagasse,
such
yes.
a wonderful job with that
I mean,
character. Oh my
did that
god.
scare you watching it? Wasn't that scary?
It was creepy. I don't think it really scared me.
Just felt more
it was-
weird.
it was creepy.
and scary.
It was
It was very creepy.
Trippy for me, honestly. But it's
very different from some of
Very
the other puppets too, because that was kind of like tabletop kind of puppetry.
Yeah.
I remember to this day, I was just about to cross the street in New York, and I was wearing a show jacket, and I just stepped off the curb, and some guy grabbed my arm, and I turned around. And he goes, I just wanted to say thank you for teaching me my kids to read.
Oh.
Then it hit me. I thought, oh, you're my pleasure. You're very, very welcome. I was quite moved by that he would phrase it in such a way. I thought that was really nice.
I feel like I think you might remember some of the episodes, but I'll explain what those episodes are, of course, if you don't remember. But of course, the Shooting Stars has a My Star Lion, Pixaplenty, where it's basically Lionel and Leona have like it's like the whole pig like party at the library,
Oh,
and at the very
yeah.
end,
Yeah.
Cleo and Theo didn't know about it and pretend
no
they're
idea.
mad about it, and they're like, yeah, pig party, or something like that. And You Can't Catch Me, where basically is
Yeah.
Leona's birthday,
Oh,
where
The Gingerbread Man.
Gingerbread Man, yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
That
yeah,
was good.
And in terms
yeah,
because
Pizza.
yeah, there are a lot
And
of good ones.
and Tweet. We're basically Big
Yeah.
Bird, Bird and Ernie.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh,
Cameo
yeah.
Big Bird was
appearance.
on this show,
that's
yeah.
right. Big Bird, Bert, and
And
Ernie. Yes.
In terms of segments, because there were a lot of good ones. One of my favorite segments
Chicken
from the
Jane.
Chicken Jane
Chicken
was
Jane,
good.
Chicken Jane.
Yes.
The Monkey Pop-Up
That
Theater
was-
was another fun
Yes,
one.
and,
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and of course,
really good.
yes,
Yeah.
and of
That
course
was
the
very
cliffhanger.
good.
Yeah,
Cliffhanger was good.
the
Chicken
the-
Jane.
yeah, that
Chicken
one.
Jane was so brilliant.
Yeah,
We-
and
we had
the one
asked
with
for,
the
asked for clearance for that. They
Doctor,
wouldn't give us
Doctor,
clearance.
I don't talk about
Oh, yeah,
Ruth Hamer,
Ruth Wordheimer, yeah.
Hammer, yes, and
On
Ruth Westheimer.
yes,
Yeah,
she was
where
so
the
sweet.
monkeys would just like crash through the door.
I can't remember what the word.
Such a
Well-
wacky segment. I always loved whenever they would have the monkey characters on the
Mhm.
show too, because they would there
Why
were all
would you
sorts of
have
different
Dr. Ruth
characters.
Westheimer?
Oh my gosh,
God.
there are a lot of good ones.
and
Wayne's Word,
Wayne's Word. Yeah, I was
Mhm.
supposed to mention that segment. What
Sam-
else?
Sam Spud.
Gosh. Yes, Sam Spud. Yes.
Sam Spud. I think that was Frith. That was
And
out
the
there.
Frith,
and the What's Cooking segment too.
Those were so silly. Those were so silly.
Jen
Yeah,
and Peter's
mean-
dynamic on that show, it really shows in that specific segment because of when they do like the little nosy thing
Mm-hmm.
on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, and since
The,
like
the favorite, my favorite Jennifer bit was her and Peter. It was a Dreaming Shakespeare episode.
yeah, I remember Jen.
And they did a sonnet. They shared a sonnet that I still remember as being really, really, really good. And I still remember that to this day. I thought was just terrific of those guys. Such a
Yeah.
wonderful job.
Yes.
Really, high praise.
Absolutely.
And funny enough, like when I remember this, well, we chatted with both Chris and Norman. I remember Chris said that the segment it was originally gonna be like off the show or something because it was kind of like because it was Cleo and Theo. It was kind of like too much or something like that.
Yeah.
and
That they
think-
basically, but they want to keep the segment. So
And same thing
Okay.
with Chicken Jane because of how Chicken Jane would get hurt.
yeah, yes.
I remember
uh-huh.
I remember Chris talking about how eventually
Yes.
they just had to cut the entire segment from the show and they couldn't use it
Yeah.
anymore.
even Jen Barnhart was surprised with like what they got away with Theo and Cleo. Like
Or
Yeah.
just the show in general, because they
just the show in general, yeah. But
yeah.
especially that particular segment,
Yeah.
What's Cooking with Theo and Cleo.
Oh my gosh. So,
A
Yeah.
lot of interesting stuff.
Yeah.
There's so much, and when you're dealing with PBS, it's
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, it's a fine line, and you got to toe the line there. So,
Yeah.
but they were just so well done, so nicely fleshed out, so nicely executed. Peter and Jen did a great job, really, just terrific.
Absolutely. So because Between the Lines was kind of a very curricular based show, because as in the show it taught kids to be wild about reading. How important do you think for their how important do you think it is to have a show that kids can learn from while watching?
I think it's I think it's very important. I think it's a gift. You know, if you can tame that and do it right and get your message across.
Yeah.
You know, and there's been a couple of shows that have done that successfully over the years. Most famously Sesame Street. But that's just the introduction to,
Right.
as
Yeah.
opposed to putting the word structure together. And you know, it's a shame it didn't run as long as it should have. I don't know how that's decided.
Yeah, I
I'm
don't
sure
know.
people are smarter than me. You know, they decide these things.
I don't know if you've seen, but Chris Surf is trying in like different ways to kind of bring Between the Lions back, because recently there was this expo that Jen and Peter and Chris were actually at, and they brought Theo and Cleo along, and Jake actually went to that and got to meet them in person.
Yes, I
Yeah,
did.
I wish them well. I
Yeah.
wish them well. I've moved on to the restaurant industry, so I'm an entrepreneur now.
That's
So-
right. Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
But
Yes.
I wish them well, and Chris is married now. I wish him all the very best with that.
Yes,
And Norman, I haven't seen
recently,
Norman in a couple of years.
Yeah.
yeah, and recently Peter too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Peter just got
Peter,
married.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Yes, he did. He did indeed.
Very happy for them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just good guys. That's
Absolutely.
great guys.
Yes.
Yep. So outside of Between the Lions, you also got to puppeteer Lionel in the We Are Family, a musical message for all video, which for those who did not see our YouTube exclusive we did not that long ago, we touched up on that a lot. What was it? Oh, look at you.
Yes.
What was it like getting to work on that? Because that's, speaking of crossovers, you know, this was like I'd say like the oh goodness, how do I word this? Like the Marvel of like children's television at the time.
Yeah, because there was everyone. I mean, there
I've
was.
never thought of it like that, but that's nicely
Yeah.
put.
I mean, all these shows coming together, you know,
Yeah,
shows you've never
Between
thought
the Lions,
probably will
Sesame
never happen
Street,
again.
Bear in the Big
you
Blue
know?
House.
Barney,
Bear,
a lot of
Barney.
anime shows.
Yeah.
Bob and
Where did that air? What did we do that for?
It was kind of like a tribute to September 11th.
September 11th. It aired in March of 2002.
As like the 6-month anniversary of it, and it aired
That's
on like
right. Yes.
pretty much all the main
Right,
children's places like Disney, Nickelodeon,
Disney, Nickelodeon,
PBS.
PBS.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
wonderful,
Wow.
wonderful music video.
Yeah.
Yes.
For pulling that off, it's just absolutely
Nice.
wonderful.
I remember that. Yeah. I think I've got a photo of that. I do. I don't know where it is, but I have a photo of that somewhere. But that was a big day.
Oh yeah.
Got everybody on. That's no feat to get all those characters in one place. You know, that's a lot of planning and security and transportation.
Yeah.
It was probably pretty expensive. We did it for free, but it's still expensive producing it. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Oh
Makes
yes.
sense.
But I remember that being a pretty cool thing to do at the time. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. Wonderful music video.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely.
We did a lot of great music stuff. A lot of great. We did that over at Beat Street, at great studio.
Yeah, there was also a lot
Yeah.
of good Between Lions also did a lot of cool outreach stuff too, because I know I remember seeing a lot of stuff with like especially Cleo and Leona would go to like different schools and teach kids about reading.
Oh yeah.
I'm kind of curious if you ever got to do any of that with Lionel, like get to go to different
Yeah.
schools and stuff.
We did a lot of that. There was a while. There was a stretch where I would go to the White House every year.
That
was,
must have been
very
Wow.
interesting.
Blessing in itself.
Right? It's
Yeah.
amazing.
I remember going to the White House one year. We were inside, and we'd finished setting up, and I looked around, and there was security standing right next to us, and I kind of whispered to his ear. I said, "Where's the men's room?" And he goes, "Follow me, sir." I thought, "Oh, okay." I was just going to escort me to the restroom. So he gets me to the door and leaves me there. So I make my way back to our setup, in the ballroom there, and we do our show, and a couple of hours go by, and I find that the same guy, and I go, I said, the restroom, and he goes, "You know where it is." I thought, "Oh, you trust me now that I've shaken hands with the president, and me and Bush were old buddies here, so I can find my own way to the bathroom now. Okay, thanks a lot."
Oh, that's great.
But I remember we did our bit, and then with the president and the first lady there on the stage, and we do our bit, and then we would take our applause, and we dug down under the curtain and whatnot, and the president walks right over, and he grabs a hold of me, shakes my hand, and goes, he goes, "Wow, this is just really amazing." And his wife is on the microphone talking right behind him, and he's being really loud, going, "I really enjoyed that, guys." And I'm like, "Your wife, she's trying to talk, He didn't care. He didn't care. This was more important, But that was always so funny. I mean,
Yeah, definitely.
and Kevin, jeez, remember Kevin? Kevin Clash was, I think Kevin went with us one year.
Yes. Kevin is
And,
so wonderful.
I saw you guys had interviewed Weezer, Louise Gold.
Yes.
Yes.
She
Yes, we
Love
did.
Louise.
Yes, we did.
I just love her.
Louise.
We go way back. Dear God in heaven.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's that girl still makes me laugh. I remember we went to dinner one night in Birmingham, England, and she goes, "Oh, I think I've eaten too much." And I said, "Are you going to be all right?" And she goes, "Oh, I just need to lay down." And she backed up her chair and laid down in the restaurant. And I was mortified. I go, "Louise, get up. You can't lay down there." And she goes, "Ah."
Oh my
She didn't
gosh.
care. She don't care.
Uh,
Oh my gosh. So you also worked on another serious thinking production, Lomax, The Hound of Music. Can you talk a bit about that?
Lomax.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I played. I was just an actor on that. I would just, whatever actor they needed, I would just put on a different costume and a mustache and walk on. I don't think that I don't think it worked. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
But
It didn't
we had a
didn't
lot
run
of
for
fun
very
doing
long. I
it.
think it had like maybe
Yeah.
only 13 or so episodes, and then
Yeah,
just kind of pulled the plug on it.
it's Chris and Norm.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
Such
Mhm.
lovely guys, and they've collaborated together on a whole bunch of things, whether it's
Yeah.
songs on Sesame Street or obviously Lions or Lomax. Just
Yeah.
wonderful.
it was it was a
Yes.
really
Absolutely.
cute show. Their heart was in the right place.
Yeah, very musical
But,
show too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, great show.
Yep, really great show. So, as we're getting close to wrapping up here, to anyone watching or listening, what would you like to say to those who supported you throughout your career?
Thank you. Thanks very much.
Our pleasure. So if people would like to connect with you, where can people find you?
I don't know. I guess he just have to hunt me down.
Yeah. In other words, good luck.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah. So to end this off, the last question that I'm going to ask is a question we ask all of our guests at the end. So of course this podcast is called Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show. When you think of nostalgia, what do you think of, or in your own words, how would you define the word nostalgia?
Happiness. Happiness, plain and simple.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. Great
When
words
you-
to end
when
off.
you-
Thank you.
When you look back on what was nostalgic, you always go with things that brought you joy. Always. And I
Yes.
hope that's
Mhm.
always the answer.
Yes, absolutely. And
absolutely.
Between the Lions, I mean I grew up watching that show. That was a huge part of my life.
Yes, me too, and of course Matt as well. And I even have Lionel watching
Yes, same.
Yep.
Junior Lions DVD and We Are Family TV too. And Junior Lions been part of our lives for so long. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
it's just absolutely.
I'm
wonderful.
glad we
One
could
of
be
our
a part
favorite
of that.
shows.
Yes,
Yes,
Of course,
absolutely.
of course.
Yes. Well,
Absolutely.
Anthony, thank you so much for taking the time to do this interview. This was a blast.
Yes,
My
and
pleasure.
Yes, absolutely, and thank you. Like I said, just so many one amazing guests. Anthony, I know Chris and Matt will say the same thing, but thank you very much. For what you've done in the puppetry world over the years, and I'm glad that us know the work that you've done. It just means a lot to us, and keep up the good work of what you're doing now. And can I wait what's next in store for you,
Oh yeah.
especially with the restaurant that
That's
you're owning at the
Mhm.
moment?
Yes.
Yes.
Thanks.
Yes.
Thanks for
Of
having me,
course.
guys. I wish you all the very continued success. Yeah.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Thank
Keep
you.
in touch.
Thank
Keep in
you.
touch, Anthony, and I will email you when this goes up.
Sounds good.
All right. Take care, Anthony. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
See you, Anthony. Take care.
Bye. Yes, and it's goodbye from us as well. We absolutely enjoyed our time with Anthony Asbury. Keep on the lookout
Yes.
for more wonderful interviews coming your way. And as always, what do we say, Jake?
Keep nostalgia alive. Take care, everyone. See you next time for more with amazing, wonderful, more episodes coming your way. Take care, everyone. See you next time. See ya.
Bye.
Bye. And remember, get wild about reading.
Okay, well, keeping wild about reading. See ya.
Yes.
Bye.
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 Thank you for tuning in to another wonderful Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show interview. Be sure to follow Jake and the crew on social media and stream the show wherever you find your favorite podcasts. And as always, remember to keep nostalgia alive. Bye-bye.